Synthetic division of polynomials. Synthetic division is a shortened version of long division. So we need to know how to long divide polynomials, but synthetic division only works when dividing by a linear expression with a leading coefficient of 1. So x plus 3 or x minus 1. So we know the longhand, long division, but this is a shortcut for when the divisor is a linear binomial with leading coefficient of 1. Now the first step of synthetic long division, or synthetic division, I guess you would call it, would be to set the divisor equal to 0 and find its solution. So the solution is x equals 5. That's going to help me set up my synthetic division. To do so, we use this long L shape. On the outside, we use that solution to the binomial. On the inside, we write the coefficients of the other polynomial. So the leading coefficient is 1, followed by the coefficients -2, which is here, -8, which is the next one on our x term, and our constant term. Okay. Now, we always bring our leading coefficient down to the outside. We multiply our solution, 5, times that coefficient, 1, to get 5. Okay, 5 times 1 is 5. On the inside, I just combine those, right? Add them. -2 plus 5 is 3. Now I repeat until all of our columns are filled in. 5 times 3 is 15. -8 plus 15 is 7. 5 times 7 is 35. Okay. And when I combine those last two, I get 0. Now, since my last column is 0, that's my remainder. So I'm not going to have a remainder on this polynomial. Okay. Looking at my original polynomial, I had an x cubed, and I was dividing by x squared. If you remember our exponent rules, if I do x cubed divided by, sorry, I said x squared, it's an x to the first power. Okay. X cubed divided by x is x squared. So I know my solution is going to be degree 2. Okay. So a degree 2 polynomial is x squared. Okay. The coefficient, the leading coefficient, comes from our synthetic division. The first coefficient is 1. My next term is going to be my x term. The coefficient is 3, followed by my constant term, 7. So I'm just bringing those down. Again, since my last column is 0, there is no remainder. Example 2, we start with the same thing. Set the divisor equal to 0 and solve. I put that solution on the outside of our synthetic division. Now I copied on the coefficients from the original polynomial. X squared has a coefficient of 1, followed by a 3 and a 5. Again, I'm bringing that leading coefficient to the outside. -1 times 1 is -1. Combine, I get 2. -1 times 2 is -2. 5 and a -2 gives me 3. So I know I'm going to have a remainder of 3. Okay, I had an x squared on my original polynomial. I'm dividing by x, so I know my solution is going to be degree 1, x to the first power. Its coefficient is also 1 based on the synthetic division, plus my constant term, 2, plus my remainder, 3 over, if you remember from long division, the divisor, x plus 1. Example 3. Okay. Still having the same first step. So I know my solution is 3. That's going to go on the outside of my synthetic division. Okay. My leading coefficient is 1, but I'm going to pause right there because x to the fourth after x to the fourth should be an x to the third, but I don't have that term. So I need a filler, a 0, for my x to the third term. Now I have my -10x squared, positive 2x, and my constant. So I have to fill in the 0 placeholder, just like long division. Now my steps for the rest are the same. Bring out my 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Negative 10 plus 9 is negative 1. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So I'm not going to have a remainder here, which is nice. Okay, my original polynomial is x to the 4th. I'm dividing out an x, so I know my solution is going to have a third power, so x to the 3rd. My leading coefficient here is 1. Followed by my x squared term, coefficient of 3. Followed by my x term, coefficient of negative 1, so it's just negative x. My constant term, negative 1. And my remainder is 0, so I don't have to add a remainder there. Last one, okay, this is a quotient. I'm still dividing by x minus 2. So to find the solution of the divisor, set it equal to 0. So I get x equals 2. So that goes on the outside of my long division. Inside go the coefficients of the numerator. So I've got 1 x cubed, negative 2x squared, 3x, and a minus 4. Bring down my leading coefficient. 2 times 1 is 2. Those combine to get 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 3 plus 0 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 4 plus 6 is a positive 2. At an x cubed, I'm dividing an x out, so I know my solution is degree 2. Leading coefficient is 1. Now, my next term is 0x, and I'm not going to write that in my answer. I don't need 0x. So I'm going to go right to my constant, 3, and I do have a remainder here, 2 over x minus 2.